Hey Ravens fans! It's just been confirmed. And I'm here to give you all the details. Before we get into today's breaking news, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get all the latest Ravens updates. Okay, here's the big story. Yannick Ngakoue is returning to Baltimore. According to reports from ESPN's Adam Schefter and confirmed by The Athletic's Jeff Zrebiec, the Ravens are reuniting with the veteran pass rusher, bringing him back to the practice squad. For those who remember, Ngakoue joined the Ravens in 2020, but now at 29 years old, he's returning to a defense that has already shown some serious strength this season. Ngakoue's journey with the Ravens the first time around has been a bit up and down. After being acquired from the Vikings in exchange for a 2021 third-round pick and a conditional 2022 fifth-round pick, expectations were sky-high. However, he didn't live up to those lofty expectations. In 9 games, he recorded 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 26 pressures, according to PFF. Not bad, but considering what the Ravens gave up to get him, many fans felt he left something on the table. After his stint in Baltimore, Ngakoue signed a hefty 2-year, $26 million contract with the Las Vegas Raiders. He made his mark early, contributing to a huge Week 1 win over the Ravens in 2021, where he and Max Crosby wreaked havoc on our offensive line. That season, Ngakoue racked up 10 sacks, showing everyone why he's still a force in the league. But in a surprising move, the Raiders traded him to the Indianapolis Colts in 2022, where he continued to produce, finishing the season with 9.5 sacks. Fast forward to 2023, and Ngakoue signed a 1-year, $10.5 million deal with the Chicago Bears, but his performance has suffered. In 13 games, he only managed 4 sacks and missed the final stretch of the season. It wasn't the kind of production we'd expect from a guy with Ngakoue's resume, but he still showed that he can be a disruptive force when healthy and in the right situation. Now, that begs the question, what role will Ngakoue play with the Ravens this time around? The pass rush has been strong this season. Through just 3 games, our edge rushers have combined for 7.5 of the team's 9 sacks. Guys like Kyle Van Noy, with 4 sacks, and Odafoa, 2.5 sacks, have gotten the job done, not to mention David Ohabo and promising rookie Adisa Isaac, who has improved as he regains health. So why bring Ngakoue back now? Well, adding depth is never a bad thing, especially with a veteran like Ngakoue. He brings experience and proven production, which could be valuable as the season progresses. Plus, if one of our current edge rushers goes down with an injury or goes through a rough patch, having a player like Ngakoue waiting in the wings could be a great insurance policy. The big question is how much field time Ngakoue will actually see. Right now, the Ravens' defensive line is in full swing, and there doesn't seem to be a dire need for another pass rusher. But having a former Pro Bowler like Ngakoue on the practice squad is a luxury most teams would love to have. It's possible he's here for depth and could only be called upon in certain situations or matchups. So, Ravens fans, what do you think of this move? Do you see Ngakoue making an impact this season, or do you think the Ravens are just playing it safe by adding some extra depth to an already strong unit? Let's talk about that game against the Cowboys. It's another case of the Ravens struggling in the fourth quarter, nearly letting another game slip through their fingers. Now, I know you've heard Lamar Jackson say it before, the team has to do a better job closing out games, and after Sunday's close win over the Cowboys, he's going to need to say it again. Baltimore came away with a 28-25 victory, but it wasn't pretty in the end. The Ravens had a 22-point lead going into the fourth quarter, but somehow the Cowboys came back. If it weren't for some decisive plays by Jackson down the stretch, this could have been a very different outcome. And this is the second week in a row that's happened. Last week against the Raiders, Baltimore had a 10-point lead in the fourth, only to lose it on a last-minute field goal. That's 2 games in a row where we've seen the Ravens falter late. Coach John Harbaugh had some strong words about that in his post-game comments. He knows this team is better than what we're seeing in these late-game collapses. We can see where the problems are, Harbaugh said. We just have to fix them. We played well in the first half, now we need to do that for all 4 quarters. Jackson was impressive once again, throwing for 182 yards and a touchdown while rushing for 87 yards and another score. He continues to show why he's one of the most dynamic players in the league. But despite all of that, there's still that lingering problem of finishing games. Lamar mentioned it himself after the win, "We've got to finish. We're up 28-6, but the game isn't over. We've been in these situations before where we're up big and let teams come back." One thing working well for the Ravens? The run game. Baltimore finished with 274 rushing yards against the Cowboys, marking the 4th time in the last 7 games they've rushed for over 250 yards against Dallas. That's the most any team has ever run on a single opponent. Derrick Henry had a monster game, rushing for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns, and added a 23-yard catch to his day. That's what we love to see from Henry, who had struggled in the first 2 games but finally found his rhythm in Week 3. But, as good as the running game was, the fourth quarter issues continue to be a big concern. Over the last 2 games, the Ravens have been outscored 32-7 in the fourth quarter. They've got to do a better job controlling the clock late in games, running the ball effectively, and keeping that defense off the field. Speaking of the defense, they've struggled to get off the field in these crucial moments, and it showed again with the Cowboys converting 3 of 4 third downs in the final quarter. The biggest bright spot on defense came from rookie cornerback Nate Wiggins, who returned from a neck injury and concussion after that car accident last week. He made an immediate impact, forcing a fumble on CeeDee Lamb in the first quarter. This kid is already making a name for himself, and he's someone to keep an eye on as the season progresses. But let's talk about something a bit concerning: Justin Tucker. Our guy missed a 46-yard field goal in the fourth quarter that could have changed the momentum of the game. He's now missed a field goal in each of the Ravens' first 3 games. It's rare for Tucker to struggle like this, and while we still have faith in him, it's something to keep an eye on. The good news is, Lamar continues to do Lamar things. He hit Zay Flowers with a crucial third down pass late in the game, extending a drive that allowed him to seal the win with a 10-yard run just after the 2-minute warning. These are the kinds of plays we've come to expect from him, and it's clear that when the game is on the line, he steps up. Some quick stats for you. This win marked Jackson's 21st victory in 22 games against NFC opponents. His only loss to an NFC team? The New York Giants last season. And if we zoom out, the Ravens have the best record against NFC teams in the league with a 71-42-1 record. That's a pretty incredible stat, but it doesn't mean much if we can't clean up these late-game collapses. So, what's next? The Ravens take on the Buffalo Bills this Sunday night, and it's going to be a huge test. Baltimore is sitting at 1-2, and they'll be looking to even out their record at 2-2. History is on our side, though, as the Ravens lead the regular season series 6-4 against the Bills. But, let's not forget, the Bills will be coming off a short week, giving us a bit of an advantage. Alright, Ravens fans, here's the big question: what's going on with these fourth quarter struggles? Do you think this team is what it takes to fix these issues and start closing games out? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And before you head out, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any updates. Go Ravens!